This is KEXP-FM Seattle, all around the world, on the web at KEXP.org. It's a thrill to have Phil Cook here in studio.
Hey, everybody.
So tired of running this big machine. I spent down to nothing but stop to see. When I'm so tired of running, what does it mean when you've been down the river, but you can't find the sea? When I'm gone.
Yeah.
know you want a reason. Will you walk away when all you find is confusion? Nobody said it was easy. Way down in the low, you wanna walk with Jesus. You gotta walk there. Will you live and feel? Will you live and forgiveness? Will you lose your way when all you mind is your business? Nobody said it was easy. Way down in the low, you wanna walk with Jesus. You gotta walk there lonely. Anybody here? So glad to see you. Anybody know? So glad you're home. Anybody here? So glad to see you. Anybody home? So glad you're home. Nobody said it was easy. Way down in the low, you wanna walk with Jesus. You gotta walk that lonely road. I'm so glad, 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 so glad. I'm so glad, 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 I'm so glad.
All right, Phil Cook in studio, Lowly Road from the album called Southland Mission, and the first song was Steampowered Blues from the brand new record called People Are My Drug. Welcome to the show, Phil.
Thanks, Greg.
It's good to have you.
Yeah, man.
It's
Super
kinda
good to be here.
It's like a Pickathon radio show tonight. We're all sort of recovering from the weekend. How are you holding up?
It was very full. Did stuff every day, sort of purposely, sort of spontaneously.
Yeah.
Good mix.
You've been there quite a bit. You've been there like 4 years.
Yeah, this is my fourth Pickathon. It was.
Yeah.
First one playing our own music with our band.
Right.
So.
Yeah. You know, the title of Southland Mission, I just realized is interesting for you because it's sort of what you've been on, I think, if I can say it, sort of a mission to discover, embrace, and sort of interpret Southern traditions in music. Is that fair?
Absolutely. I feel like I kind of My first real record, Southland Mission, in 2015, was me sort of waking up to what I had been doing my whole life, embracing it, and then walking forward on that path. And so this seems like 3 years or 4 years in now from recording, with all of us playing together and putting together from playing shows and talking to people that, walking down that path has been really rewarding. So this next record just feels like just stating the obvious and walking on.
Yeah, well, we should say you're a Wisconsin guy, and you were with Justin Vernon sort of early for both of your guys' careers, and then Megaphon was a underground popular group, and now you're doing this stuff solo, and not only that, but you seem to be so well connected. You're always collaborating with so many of my favorite people. And just recently, you produced the Blind Boys of Alabama record just recently, right? And then they were at Pickathon as well, and so you're able to collaborate with them this past weekend.
Yeah, it's a real treat. I mean, anytime I get to be on stage with those incredible men, I'm humbled, and they're sage wisdom embodied, and they've been through it all. They've seen it all, and they are incredible people to be able to know in this life, for sure. So, it was really great for me to be able to spend a little bit of time on stage with them, playing the organ, which is really fun for me, and then also just playing with that band. I mean, their band is so incredible too, so.
Yeah. And you produced the record, and also your record, People Are My Drug, is a righteous record. It's very sort of gospel as well.
Yeah. That influence, like, really, I would credit the Blind Boys with kind of really helping me to. That's part of the thing I woke up to, was that I had spent so much of my life absorbing and learning that music, and then having a chance to be in a studio with my heroes allowed me to see that I had done some work in that field, but that was where I wanted to be. And then getting encouragement from them on the other side of it, who were basically the people I was really worried about if what I was going to do was going to work or not. They were incredibly encouraging, and that actually started Southland Mission.
Right.
Yeah.
You seem like a real natural for this sort of the person that collaborates and brings people together. And I was thinking about what is the word for that over the weekend, and it seems like you're sort of like the mom in the neighborhood that has the front door open always to everyone, and everyone comes over and feels safe there, and gets to eat lunch and hang out, right?
That's kind of was my house when I grew up.
Yeah.
That was my mom.
That's kind of the way your career is right now.
Absolutely, yeah. My mom was a county social worker in northern Wisconsin, and my dad was a nurse who coached Special Olympics, and I have a lot to live up to. So the biggest things that they gave to me were that sense of spreading and growing family throughout your life, and that's the real riches that you're going to get at the end of any life, is the people that you've get to call your family, chosen, given, any of that stuff. So I get to travel where they didn't get to travel so much. They were career people with demanding jobs, and so my job is demanding, but I get to travel, and I get to constantly meet people after shows, constantly be in contact with other musicians and other artists that are expressing themselves and putting out their own vibrations into the universe, and that's exciting for me. It's exciting to be to feel like I'm a part of something, and to also reach out and make people also feel a part of that thing is. That's what I can do. I can do that. I mean, that's natural for me, like you said, it is. I was built for that by my parents.
Yeah.
So.
And the scene that you live in is the North Carolina scene, which has been such a healthy, fertile scene for roots music for I don't know, many years now, at least 10 to 15 years, with so many great artists and musicians coming out of there. You tour and play with His Golden Messenger. I think, William Tyler I've seen you with before, I believe, or that might have been your brother, I'm not sure, at Pickathon last year.
Yeah. That was my brother Brad, yeah.
Yeah, and we can go on really about that, but how fertile is that scene in Durham?
Oh, it's beautiful, man. It's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful scene. The way I look at Durham, North Carolina, which is just got a lot going on. And if you look at, any kind of a scene or any kind of, if you're categorizing yourself into genres, there are people that are really doing beautiful things in every one of those. Most recently, I've woken up to how deep and how wide the hip hop scene in Durham is. And the hip hop scene in Durham is kind of revolved a lot around this slam poetry kind of scene. Durham sent a team to the Slam Poetry Championship nationally and won a number of years ago. So there's a lot of stuff behind that. So it's very poetic, like really beautiful, aware and informative and vulnerable hip hop. It's really cool. So that's been sort of like the newest thing. I've been in the old time scene for 10 years and met beautiful people. And Alice Gerard, who's a bluegrass legend, and I have become friends. I got to produce and help be a part of her record, which got nominated for a Grammy, actually, Follow the Music. And that was awesome. I mean, every time I meet somebody new, I just stumble into there's a door opens up, and I always see that. There's just like this long hallway and all these doors, and you just got to knock, man. You got to knock, and you'll be surprised by what you find. And even if it's not what you thought you would be into, or if you just be surprised to find yourself in a place and embrace it, that's kind of like what's happening with me now. And Durham's giving me that. So.
Yeah. This is Phil Cook. He's here in the Roadhouse on KEXP. How about another song? And we'll get back to I got so much to talk to you about, including playing tonight with Daniel Norgren at the Tractor.
Can't wait.
Did you know that the moment I first held you in my arms, and I held you close and felt your beating heart like a hummingbird's wing? Well, did you know, sir, there's a prayer that I offer to the moon, watching sleep slowly wrap you in its womb like a hummingbird's wing. Ooh, heaven keep him safe. Ooh, may he always find his way. But he didn't make it. He didn't make it home. It's like she always feels. When we whitewash our fences with her tears, like we always do. Will we find it? Will we find another way to empathize? Up and see it eye to eye, where we all on the way. Ooh,
All right. Phil Cook in the Roadhouse on KEXP, Another Mother's Son, was that song from the new album called People Are My Drug. Just came out recently. Phil, wonderful to have you here.
Great to be here, man.
Playing tonight with Daniel Norgren at the Tractor in Ballard. I recommend everyone to check out that show because that's a couple good bands right there.
There's a couple good bands, man.
You know, Phil, I knew you were extra cool when you became an early adopter of Daniel Norgren.
Well, I'm lucky. My booking agent in Europe, out of Amsterdam, and Daniel and we have the same booking agent. So my booking agent boss was telling me about Daniel a long time ago, and purposely put us playing a show together in Nijmegen, Netherlands, maybe 2000. I had just done the Blind Boys record, and it was maybe a month after that, so it was 2013 maybe. Mm-hmm. And it was the first time in so long that, me as a veteran and seasoned touring musician who doesn't go to shows when I go home because I see enough of them, he was somebody who shattered that kind of clay for me. And I found myself at the front of the audience as a 6'3" dude. I wandered up there and I was just right up there. I haven't wanted to be in the front row of a concert in over 15 years. Yeah. And it's a magnet. I think he's the most real deal, soulful singer that I've seen in a really long time.
Yeah. I think he has that full immersion thing going on where he's so fully immersed in what he's doing that it's attractive to the audience.
I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
We're on the same page.
Well, I can't wait for the show. Phil, I caught a little bit of your last show at Pickathon on Sunday. You had the Blind Boys band with you. You invited Frazee Ford up there. Daniel got up there with you. And before the last song, you had a message that was really resonated with me, at least, where you were talking about that what we all need right now, we need to talk to strangers.
Yeah, my buddy's a photographer in Durham, and he and I have this thing where we just kind of have a little challenge to ourselves to just, on a weekly or a daily basis, to talk to strangers. I think that, sort of against popular thought. I mean, we've all been in airports, and you know what it feels like to be in an airport where everyone really protects the small bubble that they have and don't want to step outside of it. And it's felt more in recent years to me. Like that mentality has kind of, with our phones, has started to kind of spread out into just our daily lives of just wandering on the streets of things. I'm a small town kid, so I have some medicine against this where I say hi to everyone. I'm in New York. I'm like, hey, I'm still that guy. I'm not going to change. You know what I mean? And no one's going to dissuade me. That's just who I am. So I have some of those skills, but I just feel like, you're a kid and your parents tell you, don't talk to strangers. That's the societal message. But then once you're an adult, I think the message needs to actually just flip where that's a pretty relatively small risk that you can take as a human being. Because I think when you meet somebody and you happen to just be in the same place at them, standing in line somewhere, which is usually where it is, some kind of public pedestrian place or way, we're all, in that situation on a daily or weekly basis, right? So, to me, I just kind of started to use that as just like, hey, what's your story? How you doing? What's, and I've, and I think it's really especially true right now for people to realize that they can do that when the person you're talking to doesn't look like you and doesn't speak like you. Mm-hmm. I think that that's especially revealing and opening as far as some of those things that just happen where you just, who knows?
Yeah. And on a greater level, culturally speaking, when you start embracing things that aren't really your own, you discover so much more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also find that when you see yourself and other people, when you talk about things like family, everyone's got one, and everyone can relate to some aspect of family in this way that I think is, I don't know, it's a uniting factor, and we got to embrace those things now, Yeah.
I'm going to guess that you love music from the late 60s to early 1970s.
Yeah.
And it seems like your records sort of reference that a little bit in terms of sort of the sort of mixing and melding of genres, right? Like you're making records that definitely right now has a gospel feel to them, and before Megaphone had some sort of psychedelic folk feel to them, right? And it seems like at that time anything was possible within one record, right? You can make a record that was a rock and roll record that has country in it and soul in it and rock, and but it was one song, and everything was possible then. Is that how you feel now with recording in this day and age?
Absolutely. I don't know. I'm surrounded by these three musicians that I'm with, and I never feel like there's anything we can't touch or can't go for when I'm with these dudes. So that is my trust circle right here. They're in the room with me. JT Bates on the drums, Michael Libermento on the bass guitar, and James Wallace on the piano. And we have, and so a lot of times when we're on tour and the night is ours and we have more than an hour to play, we'll throw a bunch of things into the set that are just things that we've been listening to in the car together, things that we like, and it's just fun for us to keep things fresh, So yeah, you'll hear a lot of different things. And yeah, I don't feel limited at all, and I kind of really would like to not feel. I would like to not feel limited. I would like to not feel it. I meet bands that feel like they are painted into a corner and they don't know where to go. And I'm like, don't want to get there. I don't want to be there. How can I not do that? Well, I think trust is the key. And these are the people that I trust. They're right here. So we'll keep doing it, man. You know?
Yeah. You were wearing a shirt on Sunday that had the first names of the Staple Singers on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just their first names.
Absolutely.
And you had to kind of know to know that it was Staple Singers, one of my favorite groups.
Yeah, I'm a big advocate of wearing my heroes on my chest and on my sleeve as talking points and connecting points with people. Because when people do recognize that Staple Singers shirt and they walk up to me and talk to me, I know immediately we have that in common, and we can talk about that immediately. And that's more fun for me a lot more times than talking about, that show was... that was, talking about the show we just played. I'm used to doing that all the time, is talking about the show at the merch table. I like talking about other things, like, music, of course. So that, got my Professor Longhair shirt on today.
I noticed.
Which you immediately commented on, and then you're like, you're totally going to be friends. And I was like, yep, that's the basis. We got this.
Yeah. It's good to have you here. I really applaud for your approach to music, and I've been liking what you. I mean, the collaborations in themselves are amazing, but your records are great, and they're getting better all the time.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. You want to play one more song?
Yes, I do.
This is also from People Are My Drug, the new record from Phil Cook. He's here in the Roadhouse on KEXP.
Brother, just look at what they have done to your poor boy. It really ain't that bad, but it looks like they've been having fun. Well, I have fed them all 10,000 tears. I felt my body lying empty at my feet. I felt my soul creeping out my chest. I'm my head toward the east, got victim by the way. Yeah, mother, just look at what they have done to your poor boy. Just look at what they have done to your poor boy. Yeah. Yeah.
This song is called Life. The album's called People Are My Drug. It's Phil Cook and band. Phil, thank you so much for being here. Don't change a thing.
All right, man. Thanks, Greg.
Thank
Great
you.
to be here. Thanks to all the listeners.
This is KEXP-FM Seattle.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.